show you sit here. And we should have Fred, have a seat please, Quentin. And we should have Fred Mazzella on Skype. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see if, yeah, here he is.
Yes, I'm here.
Who knows about BlaBlaCar? Well, you should see the room. So Fred, can you see me or no?
Yes, I can.
You can,
I'm sorry not to be here, but I see that I wasn't briefed for the outfit.
Okay, so yeah, so Quentin came from New York, I came from San Francisco, but you're in Skype from France. But it's okay, we'll make it work. let's have a seat. I'll sit here. How about that? Okay. And so since Quentin is here in person, we'll start with Quentin and then Fred. Just for those of you who knows De Vialet. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, that's a product placement. This is 4,500 watt speaker, yeah?
Yeah.
and it's beautiful, but it's also the best sound. It's an amazing quality of sound. I have a few of those at my home, and it's really amazing. So, Quentin, you're global, right? So tell us about De Vialet a little bit.
De Vialet is a tech company. We have now the best technology in sound. We set up the company 10 years ago in 2007, and we are now incorporated in Asia, in Hong Kong, Singapore, Taipei, Seoul, Tokyo, and in the US, and in Munich, in Germany. Our goal is to be the leader of the sound industry. It's a very, very long journey, so we started with a breakthrough innovation 10 years ago, and now we are developing our technology. We are developing our brand, our De Vialet brand. We are creating a new distribution network. We are opening stores. 2 stores in Munich in October.
Cool.
2 stores in New York last week. There was the reason why I was there. And 2 stores in Singapore last month. So the goal is to build the brand, to develop the company, and at the same time to license the technology, to put the De Vialet sound that is so emotional everywhere, in your car, in your TV, in your laptop, in your smartphone, in the future.
And you can try it here, right? You have a
yes, we have a booth where we can demonstrate the product.
Okay.
So you have to leave that.
You should listen to it. It's amazing. We'll come back on how you had an amazing success. You didn't say it, but you raised also 100 million euros, dollars?
Euros.
Euros. That's better. It's 20% more now. Unfortunately for me, I live in San Francisco, so everything is expensive. But we'll come back to the success now. And Fred Mazzella, that I'm just checking, is still on the screen. Yep. So Fred, everybody knows apparently about BlaBlaCar here, or most people. But can you, for those who might not be as familiar, just explain again the concept?
Yeah, so first of all, I don't have the outfit, but I'm with you too. I must say, I'm fully in Munich today, even though I stand in Paris right now. But so, BlaBlaCar today, it's a company with 45 million members. We operate in more than 20 countries. And what we do is we allow drivers with empty seats to go with passengers going the same way. So the passengers just share the cost together. We operate on trips which are about 300 kilometers long, so that we have savings for drivers and passengers. It's a very low-cost way for passengers to travel from city to city, and it's a very convenient way for drivers to actually offset partly their costs. It's been more than 10 years now. And so, yeah.
How big are you in Germany?
In Germany, it's a few million people. Who are doing trips every day and every week. And so generally speaking, it's 12 million travelers per quarter on BlaBlaCar. So if you compare that to other means of transport, the Eurostar network is actually doing 10 million passengers a year, and we're doing 12 million a quarter. So
you're doing what?
12 million
so
a quarter.
Eurostar 14 million, BlaBlaCar 12 million.
Eurostar 10 a year.
Sorry, yeah.
And BlaBlaCar 12 a quarter. So it's like BlaBlaCar has more than 4 times more people traveling with BlaBlaCar than Eurostar. And if you compare that to British Airways is doing 10 million a quarter. So we're a bit bigger in terms of number of passengers than British Airways.
That's pretty cool.
We don't own planes. We don't own cars. It's the sharing economy. You know, it's the beauty of it. The drivers own their cars and they operate it, and so passengers go with them and to offset the cost.
Perfect. And so you are a very, very big advocate of a French ecosystem in many ways, and European, and you're trying to get people come back from Palo Alto and Silicon Valley. So again, I've been in San Francisco for 11 years now, and I'm resisting to go back. But I think we have a video if production can show this.
Yeah, so the context is that it's
just
a program,
a second,
it's a talent program.
Yeah, just explain the context and then we try to play the video. Sorry.
It's a talent program, so it's for recruiting international talent. As was said just on the panel right before, you can't expect to create a global or international company with people who are only from one country or who've never worked abroad. And so the goal is to really make sure that all our startups and scale-ups in Europe, France and Europe, actually attract international talent that they need to grow and scale. And so we've created, it's a collective of about 20 companies now, who have made an employer program to attract and recruit international talent. And the program is called Wonderland. And so we're now expanding out of France. We've started in France and we're expanding out of France. A company like Trivago in Germany is joining the program. And now we're expanding the program internationally to be a European program that attracts international talent.
Okay, let's see if we have the extract of that video.
As I entered the tech world here in Paris, it's like I discovered an entire rich ecosystem of companies that were innovating, that were attracting lots of talents, that had amazing energy.
It's not about a country, I think it's where the talent is. It's where the people are.
Having lived in the States for 4 years, I think I was comparing Europe to the States in my head a lot. And I was worried that the European ecosystem would not be as vibrant, would not be as happening. I found out that this wasn't true.
I was actually extremely surprised when I arrived in Paris to see the flourishing environment of startups, to see how many young entrepreneurs.
It's very exciting because you start with something that can be going big, or you can be really there from the beginning.
It's kind of building something really new and really exciting.
You can definitely tell that there's a lot starting to happen on the tech startup side, which is definitely makes it fun to be here.
Great. Quentin, what do you think? Do you think let's talk about European ecosystem versus California? You spend a lot of time there because I see you a lot in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Do you think it's attractive enough? People.
I think that the problem of the European ecosystem is the ambition. We should be and we could be very, very ambitious. For example, could you imagine that the leader in music streaming is a Swedish company? Can you believe that? So it's who knows a band from except ABBA, a band from so it's because in that country a few people decided to create something big, really a world leader. So the first step is we should be very ambitious for our company.
And you can be ambitious anywhere.
Yes, and you can be the leader of the sound industry, and you can come from France. You can be the leader and come from Germany or from another country. So the first step is we have to be very ambitious and to create a very efficient ecosystem in Europe. And I guess it's existing because it's not, if you want to be global, you don't have only to be, you can not stay in France or in Munich or in Stockholm or wherever. You have to be everywhere. And for example, Spotify is in New York, is in London, and is in Stockholm. It's the kind of relationship, the kind of ecosystem we have also to build in Europe. So if Paris is stronger, I think Europe globally could be stronger.
Does it matter, Can someone just be in Munich, Paris, London, or Barcelona? It's all the same now?
Obviously, it's very easy to travel from, except for Frederic, but normally it's very easy to travel from Paris to Munich, for example. And but yes, the place where you are, the technology company you have around you, directly at the next door, it's very important. It's very important to create big hubs in Europe.
Fred, there is Macron, our new president. I'll still call him new, and so I don't know because I'm 11 hours flight away, but I read some news. But it seems that he's actually really changing things, like removing part of a wealth tax that was hated by entrepreneurs and making them go to London. And it seems that France has a boom right now. And is it just PR or is it really like happening?
I think the effects of the measures that are taken right now will be felt in a few months or years from now, of course. But I think it's very positive because the first thing is we, as an old country, were able to elect someone who is super young, like less than 40. I think this simple fact makes it so that we are bringing new energy, we're bringing the new generation to power, and all the measures that will be taken will be really taken for the future of the country and the future of hopefully the interactions in Europe. So this is very, very positive, and it brings hopes. You know, I often say that success is half work and half the willingness to succeed. So if you want to succeed, you are twice as successful as if you don't want to succeed. And so by showing that we have a young president who will bring new measures for the future, we are half done in making great progress and going to success.
How do you feel about it, Quentin, like as a startup environment? What has changed?
I have been an entrepreneur for 30 years. So I know that in the past, we were not considered as someone useful for your country 20 years ago in France. And it has changed since maybe close to 10 years with the French tech, this kind of thing, to encourage the entrepreneur to entrepreneur in France.
We love the entrepreneurs again.
Yeah, yes, we love the entrepreneurs. What you are doing is useful for the country, for Europe, and so it's a part of the success, and also the way the French tech helps entrepreneurs to work together, to be closer, to consider the others as real partners. So what we have done in French tech, we may have to do the same in Europe with a Eurotech or something like that to really help to create a global
is
leader.
There German tech equivalent to this? Do you guys know French tech? Have you heard of it? See, not so much in Germany. Huh? So you like. No. So for those of you who are not aware, they're really good at promoting the French startups. I've seen it in the US. So I go to South by Southwest and all the tech events, CES. There is always like presence and PR, and it's the government basically taking entrepreneurs with them and promoting them. Is there something like this in Germany? Yes? No?
For startups?
Yes? Or no? Who say yes? No? No? Okay, well, it looks like no. So you should, I hear there are elections that were not so bad apparently, but it's a great thing I think that France has done for the last 5 years, promoting the startups everywhere they can, and making it a true statement that it's important for the French economy. Fred, sorry, did you want to say something about this?
Yeah, one word on this as well. I think in order to succeed, the ingredients for companies to succeed in their ecosystem, you need to have finance, and so we've been showing that European companies are able to attract large rounds of VCs now.
How much did you raise with BlaBlaCar total?
$300 million.
So 100 here, 300 million there. you can raise.
Like many companies have shown that it's now possible to attract large rounds of VCs. So this is great news for the scale-ups. The other thing is you need, of course, talent. And the good news is that the universities and the way our education system is structured actually produces very, very good engineers in France and in Europe. And this is an asset that we can now leverage. And the other thing you need is the good mindset, also incubators, and the fact that entrepreneurs are welcome to actually create new companies and create the future. We now have those three ingredients: finance, talent, and incubators, ecosystem, and the mindset. So I think we're in very good shape to change the game in the years to come.
No, I agree. So one tip each of you for our audience of entrepreneurs here at Beats and Pretzels. You've raised enormous amounts, you're very successful, you're very, very global too, both of you, which is, it doesn't matter if you're French or not. I think there's a lot of French touch here, Vo. Like you can tell the design, it's beautiful. And also the brand, De Vialet did not exist before, right?
No.
You completely created that brand.
The name was existing, it was a friend, one of Diderot's friend.
Diderot, the philosopher.
Diderot, the writer of the Universal Encyclopedia.
And you created the...
And De Vialet was a friend of him, so we decided to take that name because it's at the same time it's a French name, as a Bavarian suit. It's a French name, but it's about something universal that was at that moment the encyclopedia, the idea to gather the knowledge and to give it to the world.
It's interesting because it's a brand that sounds so French, but you still made it global. Same with BlaBlaCar, by the way. So one tip, just to finish, we have 2 minutes left. Yeah, BlaBlaCar is very, very French as well. So one tip that made the success of De Vialet you can share.
When we decided from the beginning to be global, we started to sell our product in the UK, in the US, in Japan, and in Germany before France, in fact. And now, when we are establishing our business in the countries, we are decided to focus on a few cities, city hub, big cities around the world. For example, Munich in Germany, Paris, London, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. It's impossible to take all the US at the same time. So we are focusing our marketing, our investment. We are opening 5 stores, for example, in New York City, to be global, but at the same time, to be very focused. And 4 cities in Asia: Seoul, Taipei, Hong Kong, Singapore. No. So very, very global, but very focused.
That sounds very difficult to me, but okay. And Fred, the last word. What would be your advice for entrepreneurs here in the room to? So you said it. Be ambitious. I think that's a good reminder. But you cannot open so many cities immediately, right? You have to go step by step. So what would be your advice?
Well, there are 2 things. So the first thing, it's been said, think global, especially in the digital world. I mean, anything that can work in the digital world has to be seen as something which is global, because the only way the whole system can work is by reaching the economies of scale. And so ultimately, if you want the company to work, it has to be on a huge market. So the first thing is think global. The other thing is like partner with your co-founders and make sure you don't go alone, because it's a very bumpy road. It's you have to be very, very passionate about what you do, but also it's good to have friends around you on the road, because otherwise it gets too tough.
Excellent. Well, everybody knows BlaBlaCar. For those of you who don't know De Vialet, Quentin is here today. He's going to get drunk with me. He's going to be at, of course, Oktoberfest with me tonight. And so we'll be around. And you can try the sound as well of De Vialet, which you should later. Yeah. And we're out of time. So thank you, Beats and Pretzels, for inviting a little bit of France here. And I'm really happy to be back every year. Love Munich, love Germany. Fred and Quentin, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, Fred.